Welcome to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Decker team. And I'm Ken Decker.
And I'm Yetta Decker.
And together we make the Decker team.
Along with a few other awesome people.
Absolutely. And today we're here to talk about a career in real estate. You may be listening to this program today either on the CHRI radio station or on our website, and you're thinking, you know, I really enjoy real estate. I enjoy looking at houses. I enjoy homes. Maybe I should look into getting into real estate. What do you think, Yetta?
Well, if I love homes and I love what that is all about, I guess that's often a reason people think about getting into real estate. And I've often thought that that's probably not going to sustain a career in real estate. And why would I say that, Ken?
Well, I think after, myself 18 years in the business and yourself closing in on 25, that you start to get complacent with homes. Not that we don't really enjoy homes, because we still see new things. Every home you go into is different, which is very exciting. But it's not about the homes.
It's not. And
No.
Certainly when I started in the real estate industry, I probably wasn't that enamored with the houses, and I probably am still not. It's really about the relationships and the people and really helping them. So I've often heard different realtors over the years say, this business just isn't for me. And I'll say, well, why? And it always comes down to the fact that they don't love people, that they love the houses and then sort of lost interest there. And the people are really the best thing about real estate and also the hardest thing about real estate.
And I can tell when people come into our real estate firm, because we have 90 agents that are working for us right now. And the ones that love houses tend to buy a house every year, because they're out looking at homes with people, and when someone decides they don't like it, but the agent falls in love with it, they end up moving their family. And so they're buying houses every year. I think you and I have moved once since we got into real estate.
Yeah.
We see what we put people through and decide, that's a lot of effort, but we want really to serve the customer, the client, and it's about building relationships with people. That's one of the reasons I got into real estate. I was in sales before, and when I met with a client, I'd meet with them for 10, 15 minutes, sell them a product that would meet their need, but there was no relationship building, and it wasn't super impactful. Whereas we can help people either buy or sell a home or move bigger or smaller or whatever the reason being, and we're impacting their lives and helping them get to the next stage. That's right. That they're looking to get to. That's
well,
exciting.
And even if they're looking at investment properties, or if that's what you're thinking about is helping people in the area of investing or the commercial real estate area, there are so many different areas that you can specialize in, which makes it kind of exciting, because then you can marriage that love of a particular product with the love of helping people in that way.
Yes. And I think that's one of the reasons that I decided to open Keller Williams Solid Rock Realty is I got so excited about helping people in their journey of buying or selling real estate or building wealth through real estate. That really gets my juices flowing. I also love helping people in their career and training and teaching. And so by opening a company, I'm able to impact the lives of those that are helping, that are working for me, buying and selling real estate for their clients.
Right.
Yeah. So if we wanted to get into real estate and we decided today we wanted to get in, how long would it take and what would we have to go through to get that?
Well, typically you would have to take probably 4 to 6 months. If you want to go on the slow track, you have, I believe it's up to either 18 months or 2 years now to complete your first 3 courses. And the 3 courses are very the basics of real estate. Those things that if you didn't know, you would get in trouble legally probably. It's about writing contracts. It's about how real estate in and of itself was created really in Ontario, or how it has come into place, and the different governing bodies that are involved with real estate, and just all of the details really behind the scenes that you need to know to be able to represent a client.
Just enough to actually make you dangerous, I think.
That's about right.
Yeah. And that costs around $1,500 for those 3 courses,
That's
give or take a little bit.
Yep.
And you can do it fairly rapidly, about 3-4 months if you really push through. The courses aren't that long. It's just you have to wait for your marks to register for the next course. Some of them are done correspondence, or you can do them online, or you can do them in classroom.
Yeah, so you have lots of options as to how you take your actual courses.
So for someone that maybe is transitioning from another career, they can do, well, all the courses actually, without actually spending time in a classroom.
That's right, which is pretty neat. That hasn't always been the case, so it's a really nice option that's available today to anybody wanting a career in real estate.
Mm-hmm. And so once we finish our courses, those 3 courses, then you can apply for a real estate license. But that license has to be held by a brokerage, which means you've got to align yourself with a real estate brokerage, which is then going to support you. And that's probably the second biggest decision in the career in real estate. The first one is whether you get in or not, and whether you're going to like what you have to do in real estate. And the second biggest decision is who are you going to work for that's going to help support you in developing your business.
Ken, why would so many agents, and why have so many agents been picking Keller Williams Solid Rock Realty as the brokerage that they're choosing to come and work with?
Well, that's a good question, Yetta. I think there's 2 reasons. One is what Keller Williams stands for. Keller Williams stands for a company that is a training and consulting company that's cleverly disguised as a real estate company. So once people finish their 3 courses that just get enough information to be dangerous, now they come into Keller Williams Solid Rock Realty, and we're going to teach them how to actually own a business, create a profit and loss statement, track their expenses, really treat it like a business. And then we're going to also support them, because when you open a business, you need technology, for instance. You're going to need websites and email and all that kind of stuff. And we have a technology trainer who's going to sit with you and actually set up your first couple of websites and get you off the ground and running really, really fast. Secondly, we're getting a great website is just the start, because people can't find it, because the internet is just swamped with websites, and especially you type in real estate, you'll get thousands, maybe millions of hits. So we show you how our websites are syndicated with the rest of Keller Williams so that we become a very large grouping, and then Google can find us and find each individual agent's websites. We've got a coach trainer on staff. His name is Jared. Great guy. We brought him up from Florida. He was a trainer there for 5 Keller Williams offices, was also a manager and a team leader there. So he's here to make sure our agents get a great start. Then we have agent support services. Linda Rowe has been in real estate since she was pretty much
14.
knee-high to a grasshopper. Yeah, and so she knows what a realtor needs, the struggles they have. If the copier jams, or they need to be able to scan and email something, or whatever it is, how to get into the web forms to type an offer. She's there to support our agents. We believe, because of the God, family, and then business, we believe in a quality of life. And because of that, our courses are on developing your business, but they're also on developing you. So we may have a class on finances. We may have a class on building wealth. We may have a class on relationships and marriage relationships, because if things aren't going well at home, it's pretty hard to go to the office and then give your all to a client who is going through one of the most stressful things in their life, and that's buying or selling real estate. That's up there in the top 3 of stressful things, and we guide people through that process, keeping them safe. And so you got to be at your top game working with those people. So we're there to support our agents and make sure that their lives are on track, and that's part of the philosophy at Keller Williams Solid Rock Realty. Fantastic. That was a long answer to a short question.
Well, that's not a bad thing. It's very important. So in relation to the real estate industry, you mentioned, Ken, it's a business. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people getting into real estate are thinking that it's all about the flexibility and about freedom, and that maybe it's just a whole lot of fun, and that maybe real estate agents don't have to work that hard. What would your thought be on that?
Well, I think there's a lot of real estate agents that don't work that hard. If you look at 50% of agents, the bottom 50, probably sell in the neighborhood of none to 3 houses a year.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that they're maybe not working hard. They might not be working the right way. They may not have the training on how to find the people that buy or sell a house. I liken getting into real estate, if you ever watched the movie Groundhog Day, where it happens day after day after day. In real estate, if you're a real estate salesperson, you wake up in the morning unemployed. And the first thing you got to do is go out and find someone who wants to buy or sell real estate. That's looking for the job. And then when you find someone who says they got their hand up, yeah, I'd like to buy or sell real estate, now we got to interview for the job. And that client's got to say, yeah, you're the right person to help me either buy or sell real estate today. And now I get to go to work. Now I actually got the job, so I can search for houses and negotiate offers and all of that kind of thing, which is the fun part of real estate. But you got all that other setup part to be able to get to do the job. And I think a lot of real estate agents get into the business, don't realize they have to do that first part. And that's an important piece when you're deciding to get into.
So it's really about owning a business first, and it's a business that then you're creating a job for yourself.
Yes, it's a lead generation business. It's a marketing lead generation business, and then servicing the clients that come from that.
Is the job.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Right. So that's what a career in real estate really does look like. Wow.
And that's the truth that you won't get that on your courses. You know, they're going to teach you how to type an offer. And even still, when you come out of your 3 courses, most of the sales reps that come to me, the first thing I do is start training them on how to actually do a contract and lay it out. And they really don't have the skill sets to do it. But after a few sample offers and role playing with me, we really get them in the groove so that they can do that.
And in all the training classes that are available in the office as well, right? And I understand you also have a lot of training that is done outside of the office that's geared also for the agents in the office.
Yeah, the training is, bar none, the best in the industry. What we have to be careful about as a realtor, especially getting in, is you can become about spending all your time in training and not actually getting out in front of people who are looking to buy or sell real estate. And that's an important piece. Now, we talked about, you asked me about flexibility and scheduling and that sort of thing. It's an interesting business because you are the master of your schedule, or you can let other people be the master of your schedule. So by putting in the times where you're going to spend time looking for business, you're going to spend time servicing your clients. That's showing houses and negotiating offers, listing properties for sale, marketing, doing ads, and all that kind of stuff. And then we believe strongly, because we believe it's got to be a life worth living, you need to schedule in your vacation time, your family time, your appointments with your kids if they have a soccer game or a dance recital or that sort of thing. So it does give you the flexibility that you can put that appointment in at 2 o'clock. I'm going to my child's graduation till 3, and then at 4 I've got another appointment to show a house. So you've got that flexibility that you don't have in a 9-to-5 job typically.
Right. I know our kids always said they were so grateful that we attended most field trips and we could go to their functions at school and that kind of thing, because we could just schedule around the things that were important to them. But it didn't necessarily mean that we wouldn't have to sometimes drop everything and run off and negotiate an agreement at times where we had kind of thought maybe we'd be off. Yeah. So it's a blend of making it really work for the family.
There's a bit of give and take. And I think if you can get your schedule down to, if it's in your schedule 80% of the time, I follow my schedule, you've got a pretty good business going.
Well, if you're just joining us now, it's Yetta and Ken Decker with the Inside Track on real estate. And today we're specifically talking about a career in real estate. So if you're already in the industry and you're thinking of, what our company has to offer and you've been listening today, please do give us a call, because we'd love to chat with you as well. We do work with lots of experienced realtors. And today is really just about those people, those folks that are thinking, that is a career in real estate for me.
Yeah, and people might be asking, why are we talking about a career in real estate? I think it's important to know that not only do we run the Decker team, but we also own the Keller Williams Solid Rock Realty office. So the bigger umbrella, the brokerage, is owned by us as well.
Exactly. And we just still today, even though it's been almost 25 years for me, just love being with my clients and being out and celebrating with them and having fun and negotiating and all of that. So we do have a complete leadership team that actually is in charge of and facilitating the care for all of our realtors at Keller Williams Solid Rock Realty.
Yeah, so there's a whole team that does that. And I do part-time support that. in that I do the quality assurance. So I check every contract that's written, every offer to purchase or every sale offer. They come across my desk. I check all the initials and make sure that, you know, T's are crossed and I's are dotted so that we have a legal binding contract for our clients.
Right, because that's a very important thing in our industry. Is it's one thing to write a contract, and as long as all people want the transaction to close and for everybody to be happy on the day that they're moving, it probably doesn't have to be written that well, and it would still be okay. However, the real challenge becomes often that if it's not written perfectly, and somebody for some reason decides that they don't want to move forward and they can find a loophole, then you as a realtor is responsible. So it certainly is a career where it makes a difference, the training you get. We've talked a lot about training today, and it's vital that the training is taken place, and also that the quality assurance is there, because then it can be corrected very quickly.
Right. And people getting into the real estate industry typically frequently come from other sales jobs. You know, they were already selling advertising, or they were selling furniture, or they were selling electronics or whatever. That's where I came from originally, selling electronics. But they don't have to have sales backgrounds, because we have the systems, the training, and the models to get people into business. So whether you're we're in another career, or you're just getting out of university and you think, you know what, it's really tough to get a job in the career that, or the field that I've been trained in. A lot of our realtors are coming straight out of university, spending another 3 or 4 months in school, which is really nothing for someone that's just done a degree. And then they're getting into this career called real estate as a younger person. It's much more acceptable now. It used to be, when I first got into business, I was fairly young, and most of the realtors were 50, 60, 70 years old. And now it's becoming a younger person's industry, and people are getting in as a first career as opposed to it being a second career. And that's very exciting.
Yeah, there's been a real shift in that in our industry over the past 25 years, because when I first came in, I was in my 20s, and that was very, very rare. And now it's quite common.
And I think the income potential is unlimited, because it's based on the number of clients that you can help. And realtors are now building teams, because when you build a team, you get even a better lifestyle. Because what will happen in real estate is, if you're good and you're building your business, it's called the paradox of success. As you get better and better, it starts to eat up too much of your life, and you get kind of run down and tired. So your business will grow to the level of the service you can provide, and then you can't provide better service for your clients, and your business will stop growing.
Well, you'll actually start decreasing the quality of your service at some point if you get too much.
And then your business will go into a decline. And that's where agents start going, okay, I'm going to build a team. So the first hire is an administrator, and then other might be another support staff or a marketing person, and then maybe another realtor to join your team. And by doing that, they can help more and more clients, but also they create a business system so that the client gets the exact same level of care and service that they would have if it was just
well, and I say maybe even better service potentially, because then you've got people on the team that are specialized in a particular area. And so you're not just working with someone that has to be all things to all people. You're actually now at the point where we can start to specialize a little bit, a care coordinator that's there to really facilitate the specific care and all the details of the transaction behind the scenes, rather than the realtor doing that while they're in the middle of trying to show property.
Right. And so that's kind of been the evolution of real estate. But pretty much every real estate agent starts by themselves. They get to wear every hat. They get to wear the salesperson hat. They get to wear the administrator hat. They get to wear the advertiser's hat. And that's probably a good thing at first, because you don't have very many clients to work with right at the very beginning. And it allows you to learn every aspect of the job, so that when you do decide that there's something that you can have someone else do, you know what to expect that they get done for
Well,
you.
and then you've set your standards already. Because really, I think what most clients are looking for is the standards that they expect to be met.
So I know it was quite a while ago, but starting out in real estate's a little daunting, a little scary, because you it's like opening any business. You need to have some cash flow, some seed money for marketing or advertising, or setting up, something to drive people to your website, or even the fact that you may not sell a house for a couple months, and then it may not close for a couple months. And when it closes, you actually get paid 2-3 weeks after that. So it may be 4-6 months before you see a paycheck.
And I would say for a lot of the realtors we've watched over the years, it could be even 8 or 9 months, because by the time they find the first client to work with may take a couple of months. And then they're showing them property for a couple of months. And it's not uncommon, depending on the time of year, to have anywhere from a 60 to 150 day close date from the time you actually do the transaction, the paperwork, until the folks actually move in. So there's a real variety. Now, the summertime, you see more short closings. 30 days becomes a little more common. And in the winter, either side of 120 days, which is 4 months, is a little more common. So certainly just to have some capital sitting in the bank is so important. Probably the most challenging thing that we've seen in our industry is folks that come in with no backing, no money set aside already to establish a business. And that's where we keep talking about this is a business. And I think a lot of people getting into real estate it's been so sensationalized that the whole business aspect of it has been forgotten.
Yes. And the other thing is, if you come in and you're needy for money, some realtors get a bad reputation because we say they got dollar signs in their eyes, or they got commission breath, because they need the sale more than the buyer or seller needs the house. And so when you're under stress for money, you may be tempted not to look after the best interests of your buyer or seller. And so that's the beauty, is once you've reached a level that, there's closings coming, it's in the bank and everything's fine, you kind of relax and you just look after clients, and the money looks after itself.
Right. So the goal is to really start in the industry with that ability, to have some money sitting in the bank already, so that it can be much easier as you get in. So now you've been in the industry for 18 months or even a year. Is there anything you have to do now to continue in the industry?
Yes. Well, you've taken your first 3 courses.
Right.
And then you have to take 3 more, what we call articling courses, within the first 2-year license cycle. So after you do your 3 courses, you get approved by RECO, which is the Real Estate Council of Ontario, to be a realtor. They sign you up. You pay a fee. It's $250 license fee, and that's for a 2-year cycle. At the end of the 2 years, you must have taken those 3 more courses. 2 of them are not electives, and 1 is an elective. And when you're done those 3 courses, then you're licensed. You're considered permanent licensed, but you still do 2-year cycles. And every 2 years, you have to complete 24 credits or 24 hours of continuing education, just to make sure that realtors like us, who have been in the business for a couple decades, we're still cutting edge, because we're taking continuous learning every year to keep our license.
Right. And are those courses that you have to take sitting in a classroom, or can they be online, or are they a combination, or what's the...
There's a wide range. Sometimes we bring in instructors into our office so that our agents can have a free class. Sometimes there are classes that you pay for at our real estate board, and sometimes you can pay for classes online and just take it online and write the tests at the end of the class, and away you go. So staying licensed is not a big deal, but I find that after agents have been in the business for a number of years, if they're doing a great job for their clients, the business gets easier and easier and easier, because people will resell a home. Maybe they're in 5-6 years, they decide the house needs to be bigger, or they have 2 or 3 children. Now we got to move from the townhouse to the single family home with the 2-car garage, and maybe we're going to the luxury home, or maybe we're downsizing now. So people's lifestyles change, and so their housing needs also change. So there's that. There's also people who will want to buy investment properties, or the kids grow up and now they need to buy a house, or family members need to buy a house, so we get referred. So the business gets easier and easier and easier as far as finding business, and you can spend more time serving the clients that you have.
And hanging out with them.
And hanging out, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So if what we're talking about is really getting people's juices going, like some people go, well, I would never get into real estate. And that's great because I'm trying to give you the real facts about what real estate is like so you can make that decision. Is it something that I might want to discover more about? And if it is, we have a great thing called Career Night.
Yeah.
And we have that on the 4th Thursday of each month. So coming up on the 4th Thursday of each month, we have a Career Night. It's at our office at 1 and Terry's. And that runs from about 6 to 7. It's only about an hour. And you can come there and get all your questions answered. It's a fabulous thing.
And it's absolutely non-threatening, and it just really gives you an opportunity to see what real estate is all about in a way where you're not being pushed to sign anything or do anything. It's just an informative session.
And you get to see our world-class office that we have at 1 and Terry's, Suite 110.
Yeah.
And so you've been listening to the Inside Track on Real Estate with the Decker team. And I'm Ken Decker.
I'm Yetta Decker, and we thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that you will join us again.
Yes, and if you have any questions that you'd like to send in to us, you can call us at 613-860-4663, or you can email it to deckerteam@chri.ca. And we look forward to talking to you next week. Bye for now.